Welcome back to Chronicle. In October, the Sarpy County Sheriff's Office responded to a home and someone inside who immediately opened fire on them. Well, within a few minutes, deputies took control of the situation. Ended, though, with 2 people dead, including a Westside High School teacher. Sheriff Jeff Davis walked us through the evidence and the body camera footage in November. And Chronicle's Jessica Perez reports.
Shortly after 3 a.m. October 28th, Sergeant Matt Strickler and Deputy Ricardo Chavez and 3 other deputies responded to the Geiger house. New body camera released by the Sarpy County Sheriff's Office shows the moment Rory Geiger fires out the front window towards them.
511, shot fired.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Shots fired!
Give me over one!
Right there.
Take a shot! You guys got a shot! Take it! Take the shot!
Those are the first of 12 shots Deputy Chavez fired. Sheriff Jeff Davis says Rory Geiger used a high-powered rifle and kept leaning out the window, pointing at deputies, trying to shoot again.
It is not stopped by police officers or sheriff's deputies' vest or their body armor. So they were keenly aware that they were up against somebody who had quite a bit of firepower.
Dash camera images showed deputies taking cover behind a white pickup truck. Sergeant Strickler throws a flashbang into the yard.
We believe that distracted Mr. Geiger to the extent that they could reposition.
Chavez fires 3 more times. Then again, authorities believe one of Chavez's last 5 shots killed Rory.
Each and every one of those deputies is a hero. They responded as they should have. They used deadly force when they had to. And we're very fortunate. They're very fortunate. It's sad that it ended in the way it did, but it saved lives.
2 minutes after the first shot was fired, deputies were able to enter the house where they found Rebecca and Rory Geiger dead.
As Jessica Perez reporting, well, the body cam video really tells the story just how chaotic a scene may be for deputies. The man who's going to be leading them starting next month as the new Sarpy County Sheriff is Greg London. He's been with the Sarpy County Sheriff's Office since 1988. Has commanded administration, road, jail divisions. He was named Chief Deputy 10 years ago, has degrees, a couple of them, from the University of Nebraska, Omaha, and is a graduate of the FBI National Academy in Quantico. Greg, thanks so much for being here. Congratulations on the new gig.
Thanks, Rob.
So what do you think about taking the top job, getting it?
I'm excited. Some people have asked me if I'm concerned or anxious or stressed about it, and I'm not. I think we have a great staff, and that video that you just showed exemplifies that. So the night of the shooting, it was about 4 o'clock in the morning, and Sheriff Davis and I were out on the scene, and we were standing in the middle of the street, and there was about 40 law enforcement officers out there. And we looked around. We did not have to give any orders, any directions, nothing. We were just there to say hi to people, make sure that everyone knew that we were there. We were there for moral support, but we did not have to give any orders or anything because that's what our deputies and all the other law enforcement officers are trained for. It was amazing to see that in action, and so I feel very comfortable taking over because we have a great staff and we have great partners. On the shooting, there was officers from La Vista PD, Papillion PD, and the Douglas County Crime Lab. So I think Pat Thomas and Jeff Davis taught me the importance of building networks and relationships, and it showed that night. It was a fantastic exhibit of relationships and professionalism.
And I do want to ask you about one of the cases that's still out there now is the 4 Gretna teenagers. I mean, this is very tragic. They were killed in an alcohol-related crash near 180th and Platteview Road. The 4 girls died. It was June of 2019. Your investigators say the car hit more than 90 miles an hour before the crash. Those are the girls right there. One of the girls survived. 4 of the girls had alcohol in their system. There was a question of where they got the alcohol. What can you tell us about that? I know it's still wrapped up in lawsuits.
It is. There's an ongoing lawsuit right now over the road and the guardrail. It was a frustrating case for us to work, our investigators, because we never did figure out where the alcohol came from. We have a pretty good idea, but not enough to take it forth to the county attorney's office and request a warrant. So it has been frustrating because there are people out there that know exactly what happened, but they have not come forth. And we had quite a bit of money for a Crime Stoppers tip, and that didn't pan out either.
Because last I heard it was like 14,000. I mean, it was thousands of dollars.
Yeah, it was pretty close. But once again, it was a very frustrating case because we never solved it. And our investigators take pride that they solve big cases.
And that was a tough case for your officers to come across, too. I mean, that led to peer-to-peer, right?
Right. And one thing that stemmed out of that is that we have a peer support group now at the sheriff's office. We have 3 deputies on it and 2 civilians that work for us. When I started decades ago, we didn't have that, and I went to plenty of fatality crashes, and it was just the attitude of suck it up and just get on with life. Well, that's not true anymore, and we do value the importance of having peer support. So if someone's having a problem, just like the shooting that we had on October 28th, all 5 of those deputies actually talked to counselors and our peer support group. Now, the sheriff and I we're not told what is said because everything is confidential, but it just shows you that the deputies these days are willing to talk about things like that where they weren't decades ago.
You have something that you're going to have to deal with. Your department's been stretched because the county is growing. I mean, you guys are covering more miles and you have a limited number of officers available or deputies available. What's the status as far as that staffing and going forward?
That is going to be a main concern for Sarpy County, just not the sheriff's office, but all departments. Right now, the county has about just over 200,000 people. Well, that's going to grow to about 350,000. So it's going to put enormous pressure on our staff in the next decade or so. And we're going to have to keep up with hiring. It is a little bit challenged to hire. The last 2 times we've done hiring, we haven't hired enough deputies. So that's probably going to be our biggest challenge going forward.
Hey, you know, law enforcement isn't just about enforcing the law. I want to show some video. Earlier this month, you and some of your deputies had the opportunity to play Santa during your annual Shop with the Sheriff event. Each child had about $150 to spend that night. It's awesome. Why, Greg, is this important?
I think law enforcement really is, there's 2 components of police work. Law enforcement itself and public service. That's what we get paid for, is to serve. And that is 100 different varieties of how we serve people. But that is one. As I said, Sheriff Pat Thomas and Sheriff Jeff Davis instilled to say, hey, it's all about building networks with our community, and that is one way to do it. There's a lot of people that are struggling out there financially, and they just can't afford to give gifts or put food on their table. And I think this year we had about $30,000 that was donated to the sheriff's office to put this program on. So we helped about 150 kids and their parents.
Nice. Finally then, just a one-word answer here. Most successful people I know have a bar that they set for themselves, how successful they will be. Do you have a bar for yourself, and are you confident you'll be able to clear it?
Well, being sheriff, there's only been 25 sheriffs in 167 years of Sarpy County, so I'm sheriff number 26. I'm proud of that, but I'm humbled too, right? And so I think that's quite an accomplishment, so maybe I have hit that bar.
Yeah, all right. Well, Greg, I look forward to working with you, and congratulations as the next sheriff.
Thanks, Rob.
You bet. Well, still ahead this morning, a new way for law enforcement to collect potential evidence in cases. It could track crimes in real time. We'll show it to you.